Hi guys, we're in our hometown of Millis, Massachusetts.
That's right. We are off the PCT. We hit the border of Canada at the northern terminus just about 3 weeks ago. And we've been back in Massachusetts for about a week and a half now, just kind of spending time with family, resting, relaxing, and just trying to get back used to being in society.
We want to make this video that we've been putting off just to update you on everything that's gone on in our lives since Oregon and Washington and finishing the trail and returning back to real life, whatever that is.
The last time we made an update video, we had just crossed the border of California into Oregon, which feels like so long ago now. We had a great hero day in Ashland, Oregon with a bunch of friends, and then we started out on our first stretch of trail in Oregon.
Oregon was amazing. It was super green. The trees were amazingly tall.
The trail was also pretty flat and easy, probably the easiest section of trail yet. So we really were able to start upping our mileage and crushing, 25 to 30 miles most days.
After our first 5 days in Oregon, we pushed some big miles and got to the Crater Lake, which was so beautiful, a national park we've never been to. It was kind of smoky though, so we didn't get to see that bright blue color of the lake that everyone talks about, but it was still such an incredible experience.
Yeah, it was gorgeous there. But there were some wildfires just nearby, so the section of trail about 80 miles from Crater Lake north was closed. So we had to get a ride from a trail angel a couple hours north from Crater Lake National Park to Shelter Cove Resort, where we kept on hiking north.
The next stretch of trail had lots of lake resorts that we could stop at for lunch and get a drink here and there, which was super nice. And there were also lots of burn sections, which was cool in its own way, but definitely kind of sad to see the devastation. But it's just a natural cycle of life.
Next, we came through the Three Sisters Wilderness, which is 3 huge peaks right in the middle of Central Oregon. They were beautiful and just really one of our favorite sections in Oregon to hike through. We entered Mount Jefferson Wilderness and a couple really intense volcanic rock sections that were just completely bare and felt like we were on another planet. Honestly, it was really kind of cool to be around.
Then we made it to Bend, probably the biggest city we stopped at on the whole trail. It was a really fun place to be for just a couple nights before we rented a car and drove our friends up the Trail Days, which was incredible.
Trail Days is a big thru hiking festival that happens every year in Cascade Locks, which is right on the border of Oregon and Washington.
It was so great to see all of our friends that we've met on the PCT together again, and also some old friends from the AT were there, which was amazing. And the vendors there, all the brands we got to network and connect with, were so cool and really down to earth. We'll definitely try to get back to PCT Trail Days sometime.
So as Trail Days came to an end and we had to say goodbye to all of our friends, it kind of felt like the trail was coming to an end too. We only had 150 miles to the border of Washington, and with all the fire closures in Washington, it looked like we were only going to be able to hike maybe 150 out of 500 miles in Washington. So we were starting to get a little shocked by how soon the end of the trail was seeming to us.
Then we experienced a few rainy days, which was actually pretty disheartening. It was just cold. We got absolutely soaked. Our sleeping bags, our puffies, and so that was pretty miserable because we went several days without seeing the sun.
But after 2 or 3 days of being soaking wet and cold, we finally made it to Timberline Lodge, which is on Mount Hood, which was so cool. It's such a cool old historic building. It's where they filmed the exterior shots of The Shining.
Here's Johnny!
We came up to Timberline Lodge on a rainy, foggy day. The summit was totally covered in a cloud, but we got to enjoy their amazing buffet lunch, which was one of the best meals on the trail.
Yeah. The next really cool landmark on the trail was Tunnel Falls, this amazing waterfall that you go behind in a tunnel. It was so cool. We got there in the morning and had it pretty much all to ourselves. What made it even better was seeing our friend Tikimon, who we met so early on the AT. He met us and took us out to breakfast and drove us to resupply, and it was just so great to have him there and to see him again and catch up.
While we were in Cascade Locks, we found out that some of the sections of trail that were closed for fires were opened up and some walking detours were allowed. We thought we were going to have to skip up from the border, but we got to just walk straight into Washington, which is awesome. So we didn't stay the night in Cascade Locks. We just picked up our resupply and then crossed the bridge over the Columbia River and entered the state of Washington. As soon as we got into Washington, we realized that we were not on the flat, easy trails of Oregon anymore. And once again, we were going straight up and down big mountains. The trail was pretty hard, but it was just gorgeous. The woods were so thick and beautiful. So about 50 miles into Washington, the Mount Adams Wilderness section was closed, so we had to do about 27-mile road walk to get around the closure. We ended up not having to walk the whole thing. We got 3 different hitches that we were able to string together. We only had to hike about 18 miles on the road, and then we were back on the PCT.
Then we got to Goat Rock, such a beautiful section with really cool rock formations. It honestly reminded us of the Sierra again. It was just so epic and so beautiful. We were so glad that we were able to get there.
Goat Rocks was one of the highlights of the whole trail. It was just really awesome. One of the best days of hiking for sure. So we kept hiking north through Washington. We passed the highway at White Pass. We got some amazing trail magic. And then we hiked another day before our friend Sweetheart and U-Haul from the AT came out to visit us. They picked us up and we went and checked out Mount Rainier National Park. And then we hiked a day and a half with them, which was just so fun to get back out on a trail with our thru hiking friends again.
Solid quality time. After some more beautiful days on trail, we hiked into Snoqualmie Pass, which was a really cool small little ski town that had everything we needed. We went to a brewery.
Next, we hiked into Alpine Lakes Wilderness, which was one of the most beautiful parts of the trail yet. We really loved it. It reminded us of the Sierra, how there were so many lakes and rivers and waterfalls. It was just gorgeous. So we hiked a few days through there, and then we came out to Stevens Pass.
Then we were approaching this 100-mile section that was closed, and we were really hoping that something would miraculously happen. It would just open up, because it was Glacier Peak Wilderness, which we've heard is such a beautiful section, but unfortunately it didn't open up. But our dear friend Mosey from the AT offered to drive us anywhere we need in the whole state of Washington, and so that was a really difficult part to try to find rides. So she helped us out so much. We are so grateful for her and just her generosity.
So Mosey picked us up and she drove us up to Lake Chelan, which is a giant glacial lake. We took a 2-hour ferry ride from one tip of it all the way deep to the town of Stehekin, which is only accessible by the lake or by foot. So we made it out to Stehekin, and then that was our last. We only had 50 miles from there to the border of Canada.
After not seeing many people the last few days in Washington, we were so excited to get to our victory lap. It's the last part of the trail where you have to hike 30 miles in from an accessible road to the border of Canada. And if you don't have your passport and special permit to go 10 miles into Canada to get to a road, you have to hike the 30 miles back, which kind of seemed like horrible at first. But then we realized we got to see so many friends ahead and behind us, and it was so awesome, all the camaraderie, congratulating each other, and it was really such a special moment that I wouldn't want to change it at all.
We got to say a goodbye to so many people that we wouldn't have seen otherwise. We got to the border of Canada, and just then it absolutely downpoured on us.
Yeah.
And as we were hiking out from the border, the sun came out and broke through, and we saw the most amazing rainbow. It was just such a memorable, unforgettable moment, basically. Yeah. That was when I finally got emotional. And then we hiked out our last day where the sun came out and broke through the clouds, and we got to see all the views that we couldn't see in the rain on our way into the border. So it was beautiful. It was a great finish, and right when we got down to the road, Mosey was there to come and pick us up and drive us, 6 hours all the way to Spokane out on the border of Idaho. So Mosey, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Once we got to Spokane, we rented a car and drove to my mom's place in Utah, and it was so nice to get to stay there and watch the dogs and just be alone for 10 days, which I think we really needed for our post-trail depression, which can be really tough to navigate. I think it was just so nice to have just some time to really relax and not feel guilty about having to be productive, you know?
Yeah, and we had no pressures or obligations or other people who were wanting stuff from us. So it was just a great time to rest and kind of prepare ourselves to get back into, productivity and society and all the stuff that we have to do.
Yeah.
But after 10 days of relaxing in Utah, we flew back to the East Coast. We went to our friend Dom and Lauren's wedding, which was so fun. And now we're just kind of putzing around in good old Millis, trying to work on some editing and get some jobs, hopefully make some money. But we'll see.
Getting to the northern terminus of the Pacific Crest Trail really didn't feel like getting to the northern terminus on the Appalachian Trail, our first through hike, where it felt like such an incredible accomplishment. It just kind of felt like a bummer that we were done and we had to go back. You know, it felt more like a lifestyle that we just so enjoy living versus an accomplishment, which it is. But we just didn't want it to end. We have a lot of other goals that we would like to accomplish, including the Continental Divide Trail.
That's right. We weren't sure if we wanted to do the CDT, but pretty much halfway through the PCT this year, we decided, let's do the CDT
If we can.
as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So our hope is to do the CDT next April. Again, maybe April or May. It depends on the snow. But if we can work enough and make enough money while also living kind of cheaply with family for the next 6 months, then we're going back out on another trail. That's just what we want to do with our time. It's what we don't want to do with our lives. And we're really excited about it.
We realized the PCT is not just a once-in-a-lifetime thing, the through hike. It's something we love so much, the lifestyle of it, that we're going to keep incorporating it into our lives as much as we can. We're focused, eyes on the prize, we're going for it.
Yeah, and the only thing stopping us from getting post-trail depression is the fact that we have another through hike that I'm already getting to look into.
Yeah.
So the adventure's not over yet. We're gonna keep going.
Yep, we're still nomads.
But also, don't hold us to it.
Yeah, no, we're gonna try. It's not that easy to just be like, let's just go hike again for 6 months, you know? So we're gonna try our hardest to make it happen. Hopefully, you guys will be coming along on that trail with us too, and then we'll be Triple Crowns.
Over the next couple of months, we're gonna be putting out a bunch more YouTube videos, trying to dedicate a bit more time to creating content on this platform. So if you guys have any specific videos or reviews or any topics that you're interested or want to learn more about, leave it in the comments below and we'll make sure to make a video about it.
We appreciate you guys following along our journey so much. It really means so much to us.
Seriously.
That you guys care about, you know, what we do in our through hiking lives.
Yeah, we're just walking and sleeping on the ground.
Yeah, it really makes our day that we can brighten your day by being out in nature. So we just want to keep doing that, and you just watching this video and liking it helps out so much. So
thanks. All right, well, I think that gives me enough editing to work with for now. So I'm gonna go edit this video.
Yeah, I'm gonna go paint.